Where do we belong? Which land we do belong? Which part of the world we belong? This is a story of us migrants living in two different countries and feeling sometimes confused. Where do we belong? One day you are in East Europe and the next day you're on the other side of the world, Australia. So different. Different nature, different birds, different sounds, different people.
Driving.
Been shearing sheep, we've been mustering stone, we've been culling out roots, we've been spraying the crops, we've been drugging cattle up an old stock route. Well, I have members of the Outback Club, well, the boys from the bush come in from the scrub. Well, we raise hell when the sun goes down. Well, yeah, we're from the scrub. Well, the boys from the bush come in from the scrub.
That's how I like it.
Obviously, the topic is belonging and identity. Where do we belong? It's especially difficult to recognize where you belong when you're part of two different cultures, when you're part of two different countries, and especially when you visit one of them and then you come back to the one that you live. And that kind of confuses your system. It's not quite confusing, but it just makes you asking so many questions. Where do you belong? Every country's got their own values. The values will be different. The expectations of the society would be different. The way people dress, the way people talk, the mannerism is different. Everything's so different. Even the nature is different. When you wake up in one country, you listen to different type of birds than the other country. The trees and the plants are different. The smell is different. The noises are different. Everything is so different. And you do ask yourself, as most of us migrants, you would ask yourself, where do I belong? Do I belong to this place or do I belong to this place? And especially you have different places, like your mom's place, your father's place, different cities, different countries, different people. And then you go home to your own place, which is the other side of the world, and this completely different culture. And your sense of belonging is just questioned. But what confines the belonging? Is it your house? Is it your land? Is it the nature? Is it your friends, your job, your family, or your relationship? Or how they say, the place where you park your car? I suppose the answer is very complicated and it's extremely individual. But if you do not have the sense of belonging, that's going to be a stressful life, stressful days. If you don't belong to a family, if you don't belong to the workplace you're working in, if you don't belong to the city, to the community, if you're isolated, is that makes you happy? No. Belonging is very important for the humans. We're social individuals. We like to communicate. We'd like to be part of community, part of a family, part of a country, part of a team, if you say. In a daily basis, most of the time, you do not ask yourself these questions, do I belong? But when you travel, when you go to, let's say, from one side to the world to the other side of the world, and when you see the differences, and when you observe how you belong to one place and at the same time you belong to another place, and sometimes you observe completely opposite, you don't belong to that place and you don't belong to the other place, then when you come back from a holiday, especially if it takes a bit longer than a month, you do ask yourself these questions: do I belong? Where do I belong? And it is very strange. I can tell you myself, I feel that I belong to the most remote village where my grandfather was living. And I haven't even lived there. I haven't even spent much time there. But when I go there, I do belong. For the matter of fact that people know me, that I'm ancestor of this family. And they're going to ask me, oh, are you the granddaughter of this guy? And you say, how do they know about me? So that makes you feel that you belong to this place.
It's very important to feel that you belong. People that don't feel they belong, most of the time, especially migrants, what happened to them? They get homesick. They get really homesick, and most of the time they have to go back to the place where they originally come from. To be a migrant is definitely not for everyone, and sometimes takes ages until we start to feel that you belong to the new place.
They say nowadays people do struggle with their sense of belonging because we all travel, we all move from one place to another place. We don't live with our friends, sometimes we don't live with our families, and sometimes we go to earn our money on the other side of the world, and that's not always the job we like, and that's mixed up with our sense of identity and our sense of belonging. A lot of introverts struggle with their sense of belonging. So what do they do? What people do so they feel they belong? The best thing is to find a group of people, find some friends, go out and about, meet people, experience, get yourself to be included in a group, to participate in different groups or community. Contribute something, get to know your neighbors, get to know people at work, get to know people at church. Just make yourself available so you spend more time with other people, because to belong is very much to be part of a group and to be accepted of that group. And sometimes it's our effort is counted as well, so we have to make some effort for it.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I think this is the end of my talk today.